So, welcome to my first Photopea tutorial. I am not really sure how this is going to go, but we're going to give it a shot. Say hi, Mom.
Hi.
Okay, so we're going to go up to the File menu, and we're just going to look at it in, a second. So we see the same file bar as what we would see in Photoshop. So we could do things like open and save and export as. This is where it gets a little different. So this is where you could see where it says JPEG. You need to export as a JPEG in order for it to work and be flattened and be saved as a JPEG. All right, so the edit menu has the copy, paste feature, transform, all the things that we can do in Photoshop. Layer. I'll come back to image, don't worry. Under layer, this is where we go down to the bottom and we can say flatten image. Select, you could select all, select the inverse, deselect. All the control keys are the same, except the only difference is on a Mac, it's a Command C or Command V, and on your Chromebooks or on a PC, it would be Control. Okay. Filter menu, same thing. You get the filters, the filter gallery, all of the distort, the noise, the pixelate, the sharpen, the stylize, all the fun stuff that you can do with your photos if you feel like it. And everything else is the same. Under the image menu is where you're going to find your adjustments. Adjustments are what you find usually over on the right-hand side above your layers panel with your adjustment layers. You can still get those, but they don't show up the same way. So this is where we could find them and only alter one individual layer. Does that make sense? I hope so. If you come over to this area down here where you see my little face, I'm actually going to try to move it out of the way. Okay. Right down here, you will see that there is an icon that looks like a black and white cookie. You also have the layer mask, the folder or group, and new layer. You also have EFF, which is effects. So you can do your layer effects there, like the various types of borders around your images, around your fonts or texts, all of those fun things. So you can play around down there. So now we're going to start by opening an image from our computer. So this is where you have to have pictures on your computer. So I'm going to go open from computer. And then I'm going to navigate around my pictures. These are my fireworks. And I'm going to choose an image. Let me find the one that I really like. That one looks good to me. And I'm going to press open. And it takes a minute to load, so bear with it. Loading. Okay, so there it's open now. And you'll notice that it's in its own tabbed window, which is identical to what Photoshop does. So here we can do things like select it. This is called the rectangle select, but it's the rectangular marquee tool. The ellipse select, so we can select a circle. We could use the polygonal lasso, the magnetic lasso. We could use the quick select and the magic wand. We can crop the image. We can spot heal the image. We have all of the same features in Photoshop right here in Photopea. Now, the clone stamp is also here. The gradient tool, which is one of your tools that I wanted you to use. So let me show you how I'm going to use the gradient tool right now. So I'm going to look now at the gradient colors. My color picker is right over here. So I don't want red in mine. I'm going to choose a yellow. and then I press OK, and it changes the color. I'm going to click here, and I don't want black. I want blue, so I click OK. So now my color gradient is listed up here, and you can see that if I pull this drop-down list, it is exactly what we see in Photoshop. I really have not ever seen anything reproduce Photoshop in this way. This is pretty amazing. Then you have linear, radial, angle, reflected, diamond. I think I'm going to choose diamond shape for fun. And don't touch the blend mode for now. We're going to leave that as is, and we'll leave the opacity the same too. Before we use our tool, we're going to get used to this. Always go create a new layer. So down here, you can see that I'm clicking on new layer. It now made a new layer called layer 1. I'm going to title it. So I just double clicked and I'm going to title it gradient. Okay, click off and it's named. Now I'm going to use my gradient tool. And I'm going to draw a line across my image. This is going to create a gradient. Now I can kind of play with it until I like it. I don't know. Do I like that diamond shape? Sure. Okay. Now we can see that our gradient has overlapped our image. I'm going to click on the blending mode option and I'm going to change it here. So I'm going to try multiply. Ooh, I like that. Oops, sorry, I hit the wrong button. Click on multiply again and then change it to a different one. Maybe I like that one. Let's see what it looks like without and with. Wow, that really enhanced it. Okay, so I'm going to leave it like that. I like it. So now I'm going to go ahead over and add a new image. So I'm going to go up to my file menu and I'm going to go open. Now, many of you make a mistake of dragging photos from your desktop and then dragging them into the image. That is not what we do. We want to make sure we go up to File New or File Open, and then we choose a photo. So for me now, I'm going to find some other pictures that I'm going to use. Let's see if I have one here that I want to use. Okay, I'm going to choose Ashram from last year. She graduated. Okay, so I'm going to load her photo in here, and it's just a portrait that I'm overlapping over this picture. Loading takes a minute, so bear with it. And there she is. Now I'm going to, you notice how she's in her own tab? What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take this picture with the selection tool, they're called the rectangular select, and I'm going to select her. So I just drag over the whole thing. Now I have dancing ants over the whole image. I can either go up to Edit, Copy, or use my Control C feature. I copied her. Now I click on this image and I paste. So I can go up to Edit, Paste, or I can use Control V. Then it says Photopea wants to see the text and images copied to the clipboard. I allow. Cool. Done. So now it's pasted in its own layer on top of my gradient layer and my background layer. In order to see it, I would either have to lower my opacity or I can use a blending mode. Like overlay. I don't like it. Let's try difference. Kind of fun, but not really. Not really what I was looking for. Those are really intense. I don't know about those. Yeah. So let's try some of these. And cool. All right. I mean, it kind of works. So let me move it around until I like the area in which she sits. So maybe if I move her right about there, it looks good. I like that. Okay, so now I have some things that I've been playing with, and now I can maybe try to add or retouch or change some things here and there, but I'm going to add text. So I'm going to add a type layer. So I'm going to use my type tool just by clicking on the letter T, and I'm going to click once. Do not draw a text box. If you draw a text box, you cannot alter the image, the actual type layer itself. It doesn't allow you to resize the image. It doesn't allow you to do anything to the type layer itself. So let's get into the habit of just clicking once, and then we'll do our type. So this is where you would put in your quote. You can title it. Oh, let me change the color of that. So I'm going to highlight by highlighting all of it. And then I'm going to choose the color right here. I'm going to choose yellow. And then there I have my text. So if I double click on it, it'll like highlight the whole thing. And then I can just start typing away. So type away whatever you want. Quotes by who knows. Right? Oh, I can't see the other end of it. So what do? Let's see. Can I drag it? I'll hit the check mark and then go back to the move tool, and then I can move it. Now you notice that it might be going off your page, so you can click on the type tool again and then hit the return key or the enter key, and then you can move it wherever you want. So if I click back on the type tool and then I select all, I can then change the font up here. So my fonts are located all at the top in my options panel, and I can actually do a lot of different things. So you can see the preview of all the fonts. So maybe we do a fun one, maybe we do something a little bit, which is all caps. That one's kind of fun. And then we up the size. Okay, and then we can move it around. Let me hit the check mark. And then I can move it around. Once I see that little crossbar, I can kind of move it wherever I want. All right. So that was a general overview of some of the options that this program can offer. Again, it is very similar to Photoshop, and with your creativity and what you know about the program itself, you can have a little bit more fun than just this. So enjoy it while you have it, and I'll see you later.